What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I feel like I have been under a rock for the last month at this point. I have been all in trying to get Transients ready to go for launch next week. There's a lot of things happening, from Arc Raiders to Battlefield 6 to the topic of today's video, which is PUBG Black Budget. Now, we talked a little bit about this on the podcast yesterday, the Push to Talk podcast. You guys can watch it here on YouTube, or if you listen to podcasts on Spotify or Apple, go take a listen. PUBG Black Budget, it is a brand new extraction shooter built around tension, survival, and the unknown, according to their website. There is a playtest happening in early December. I believe the dates are December 12th to the 14th, and then the next weekend is the 19th to the 21st. So right before Christmas, we have ourselves the first chance to see PUBG Black Budget. I requested access to the playtest. I also received an invite to their creator Discord, so I'm guessing I'm gonna have a chance to play it on these days. I guess that means I've been accepted. But there's a lot of things that we can learn from the game based on what we're seeing on their store page. But what we can see about this game, what the hell is it? It's designed as a first-person perspective first experience. It's a tactical extraction shooter built around tension, survival, and the unknown, where you play as a contractor, a hardened veteran hired for a classified operation on an island at the edge of the world. Your mission is to recover top secret technologies from an abandoned research facility, but there is a catch. The island is trapped in a time loop, consumed by a supernatural phenomenon known as the anomaly. Extract artifacts, research your findings, and uncover the truth behind the Black Budget initiative. So it's a pretty cool concept. It reminds me a lot of what we saw with Active Matter earlier this year. It reminds me a lot of Beautiful Light in a ways. There's a new genre forming around this anomaly-based extraction genre. We have Active Matter, we now have Black Budget, we have Rules of Engagement, and we also have Project Spectrum, which I did a video on my other channel, more Big Fry. So if you guys haven't seen that one, go check that out as well. There is a genre forming around it. I'm not mad at it. It's a unique take on that tired, like, mill sim genre that throws in a little bit more like supernatural elements. It reminds me of like Greyzone had anomalies, which maybe Greyzone will in the future. I don't know. But what we have here for Black Budget is a 2.5 by 2.5 kilometer open world island featuring varied biomes, points of interest, and underground facilities, up to 30-minute sessions combining exploration, combat, and then extraction. There is persistent inventories. We do have level and squad-based matchmaking for up to 3-player squads and 45 players per session. There's also dynamic PvPvE encounters, as we all know, against other contractors and various hostile enemies. And the anomaly gradually shrinks the play area, creating tense and unpredictable scenarios every loop. So we have elements of Battle Royale here. We have elements of that supernatural anomaly Active Matter. In my opinion, the game looks very military-based, so you could say that there's sprinkles of things like Arena Breakout Infinite and Greyzone Warfare here. The open world island reminds me a lot of Greyzone, but then you have the 30-minute sessions, which is a lot more like a basic extraction shooter. And luckily, these guys do detail a little bit of their progression and customization. So what we have are 3 factions on this island that are warring against each other, very similar to Greyzone Warfare. They offer contracts, missions, and rewards tied to loyalty and reputation. There's persistent character growth through skills, proficiencies, and upgrade systems. You also have customizable and expandable bases featuring crafting stations, stash upgrades, and facilities that provide income. So in my opinion, it sounds like they took what Greyzone Warfare was doing with their 3 factions and they just kind of cranked it up to 11 and gave you a reason for doing missions for them outside of just unlocking more gear, which I don't think Greyzone actually does very well. There's research stations serving as a narrative and progression hub, extensive weapon and gear customization, including faction exclusive items. And I'm curious if that means that it's going to be like weapons and like actual meaningful gear, or if we're just talking like customizable cosmetics. I don't know. And then obviously there's healing items and stimulants and full character equipment customization, including appearance, clothing, as well as weapon and equipment skins. So the first thing that we can extrapolate, reading between the lines, is there's going to be microtransactions in this bitch. If I hear skins, equipment, character, whatever, you know there's going to be microtransactions here. Now, whether it's in the form of like a battle pass or maybe what they're doing like in an arena breakout where you can buy cosmetic bundles, I don't know. Just expect it at this point. Now, the next thing we can extrapolate from this Steam store page is the way that they write about this December closed alpha test is that only first-person perspective will be supported for the test. Now, when you take that wording and you combine it with the designed as a first-person perspective first experience, A lot of first there. What they're saying is that this game will eventually feature both a first and a third person perspective. Now, I think I can gauge how you guys feel in my audience about where you want to play first person perspective. I hear it all the time when we talk about Arc Raiders. You guys seem to fucking hate third person games. I kind of fuck with third person as long as the animations are good and the polish is good and it actually feels good to play. That being said, when you have games, and I've said this for years, when you have games that are built for both perspectives, usually one of those perspectives usually ends up taking a back seat. From a development perspective, when you're switching from first to third, that means all of your buildings and objects and doorways have to be scaled to accommodate that third person perspective and that camera being pulled behind your character so that you can do the peeks around the corners and your camera isn't getting caught up on things. The rooms have to be bigger. The scale has to be bigger. I'm curious to see how that's going to work out. Granted, this is Crafton. This is PUBG. We do know that they did first and third person, in my opinion, pretty well. So I'm not too concerned coming from this studio specifically. I think if this was anybody else who maybe didn't have that experience or that history in the past, might be a little different. But dude, we've been hearing murmurs of Black Budget for years now, and they've been talking about it in financial calls. This is feeling, at least from the screenshots and at least from the little snippets of gameplay that we've seen, it feels like they're putting a lot of effort behind this. I don't want to call this the next evolution of extraction shooter, but when you look at the horizon about what's coming down the pipe with Active Matter, Black Budget, Project Spectrum, rules of engagement, usually when it comes to the FPS space, and it's been like this for a long time, usually what we find is that there's a lot of studios out here that are trying to jump on the bandwagon, jump on the next thing. We saw that with Tarkov. Tarkov came in 2015, took the extraction genre to a whole new fucking level, and we saw things like DMZ and just basically everybody came in and tried to copy Tarkov. And now look, I'm not saying that these guys are trying to maybe copy Beautiful Light, but I think in terms of this like anomaly, like artifact extraction shooter, I think Beautiful Light is, I'm kind of nervous at this point. I love the guys at Beautiful Light. They're number 38 on the top wishlisted games of all time on Steam. These guys are killing it. The problem with this is they have a release date. They're a small indie team, but they're making waves and they're making a lot of people interested. Look at this, 61,000 followers on Steam, but their release date isn't for another year. And what we're seeing now, I think, is the culmination of a bunch of studios looking at what's the next up. What is that next fucking game? What is that next genre advancement? And I'm nervous because I want Beautiful Light to be the guys that lead the charge. It's fucking incredible. As an indie studio, those guys are doing insane things. I'm scared now that because so many other studios, we got the Tencents, we got the China's jumping in. I'm curious if Beautiful Light is going to be swallowed up in the sea of anomaly-inspired shooters. And here's the thing, it doesn't even matter if Beautiful Light is the best game out of the bunch. If these guys all come out and beat Beautiful Light to the punch, by the time Beautiful Light comes out, is there going to be that genre fatigue if we go through the next 365 days of Project Spectrum, Active Matter coming to Steam, fucking Black Budget, rules of engagement? I'm sure there's going to be more. Does this put a stain on Beautiful Light's potential? Because by that time it's kind of like a been there, done that. So I hope that doesn't happen. I think Beautiful Light should reap the rewards of being on that next like trend in the extraction space. But I hope that they don't get swallowed up from this. Black Budget looks really, really cool. I'm going to add it to the wish list. I'm excited to see what it has to offer. I mean, look, man, as much as I've fallen out of love with PUBG, I loved PUBG at launch. I thought that was one of, like, dude, coming from H1Z1 and we had like the Arma 2 Battle Royale, going into PUBG, I was like, man, like, I get it. Does Black Budget give me that same feeling? I don't know. We'll have to find out in a couple of weeks, right after the Game Awards. December 12th to 14th is the first play test. I don't know if there's going to be an NDA. Like, this says watch and test on Twitch and I don't know what the fuck that is, to earn your key through drops. So that tells me that there is actually going to be a Twitch drops campaign, which tells me this is going to be open to everybody. So we should be able to make content on this starting on December 12th. I'm curious. I'm going in like, you know, we'll see. We'll see how it feels. Going in with an open mind, nothing that I'm seeing right now makes me question anything. I got to see how it feels. Chances are if this alpha test goes well, I mean, we might not be seeing a release of this game for at least 6 to 8 months, maybe even longer than that. But as always with these things, guys, I want to know what you think down below. Let me know your thoughts. Are you interested in Black Budget? Do you even know what the fuck this is? Let me know. Let's have a conversation. While you're down there, leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Make sure you guys also check out Transients on Steam. This is my game launching December 4th. It's coming up in a few fucking days here. New trailer just dropped. There's going to be a launch trailer later this week, as well as 10 minutes of raw gameplay for you guys to watch. And if you want to support the channel, you can become a member on Patreon to get early access to the podcast episodes, exclusive videos and live streams every month, as well as our after hours special, which will be taking place after the Game Awards streams on December 11th. Join this long list of beautiful legends supporting the channel on a monthly basis for as little as $4.99 a month. Thank you guys for watching. As always, my name is Big Fry, and I'll see you on the next one.